let us learn about a cylindrical magnetron, which is a cross-field tube, and it is a high-power microwave oscillator, high frequency for microwave oscillator. So here you are having 8 resonant cavities, okay, and resonant cavities are equivalent to LC tank circuits which generate damped oscillations, and these damped oscillations needs to be converted into sustained oscillations for this device to be used as a microwave generator. So there is a center cathode, there is an anode, the outside one is the anode, you have 8 resonant cavities surrounded by the anode, and because it has 2 terminals, the magnetron is also called as a diode. Okay. Now, because it's a cross field tube, the electric field and the magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. In such a case, the magnetic field is going to be more dominant in generating the oscillations. So it is the one which is going to be responsible for converting the damped oscillations into sustained oscillations, unlike in linear tubes where the electric field and magnetic field are in parallel with each other, and the electric field is responsible for the amplification process. So the principle in a magnetron is positive feedback. So positive feedback, and there are 3 fields which are going to contribute and which are going to interact with each other to generate microwave oscillations. And a magnetron can have a resonant cavity anywhere between 8 cavities to 20 cavities. Positive feedback is defined as the phase difference between the feedback quantity and the input quantity is 360 degrees or 0 degrees, or we can say that they are in phase with each other. Now, if you go once around the 8 cavity magnetron, the phase difference is 360 degrees. Okay. In order to find out the phase difference between 2 adjacent cavities, we can find it out by dividing it by 8. So when that is done, the phase difference between adjacent cavities is going to be 45 degrees. When this was tried by the researchers, it did not yield suitable characteristics, so this was not working. So when proper research was done, they came up with the phase difference to be pi or 180 degrees, which yielded suitable characteristics for the magnetron to be used as a microwave generator. This is still in sync with the definition of 360 degrees. 8 pi is equal to an odd multiple of 2 pi, which means it is definitely the phase difference between the feedback quantity and the input quantity is going to be 0 degrees or 2 pi radians. Now, since we are talking about pi mode oscillations which resulted in an efficient microwave generation, concept called as strapping is done. Now, what is this strapping? So, you can see straps. Straps means there are 2 rings. Okay. So, you have alternate rings connected here. You have 4 rings connected here, and you have 4 rings connected like this. Okay. So, what is the strapping? So, here there are 2 rings which are connected to, one of them is connected to even numbered odd poles and anode poles, and the other ring is connected to odd numbered odd poles. Anode poles. Okay. So now, how to understand why this strapping is necessary? And this strapping is actually going to cause a short circuit. That means there is a connection between odd numbered anode poles, and there is a short circuit between even numbered anode poles. Now let us see. Let me number them like this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So if I assume that the phase difference here is positive for a particular instant of time, because the adjacent cavities are out of phase, this will be negative. Because these 2 are out of phase, this will be positive. Because 4 and 5 are out of phase, this will be negative. So this will be positive, this will be negative, this will be positive, and this will be negative. So if you observe, you are having the alternate ones as positive and the alternate ones as negative, meaning to say all the positive phase or all the even numbered anode poles are in phase with each other, and all odd numbered poles are in phase with each other. and the even numbered anode poles and the odd numbered anode poles are out of phase with each other. Okay. So now, so what is trapping doing? Trapping is going to short circuit the even numbered poles and the odd numbered poles. Okay. So thereby assuring that all even numbered anode poles are in phase with each other and all odd numbered anode poles are in phase with each other, and the even numbered and the odd numbered anode poles are out of phase with each other. Now you are having the rising sun resonant cavities here. So there can be a variety of geometrical shapes for the resonant cavities. So one such is the rising sun cavity. Okay. Now, to understand the operation of a magnetron as an oscillator, I told you initially there are three fields which are interacting. There is a DC electric field, there is a DC magnetic field, and the RF field which is generated by the resonant cavities. Now it's difficult for us to understand with all of them together. So let us take one at a time using superposition theorem and understand. So you see, when only electric field exists and no magnetic field exists, you see that the electrons are leaving the cathode and reaching the anode, and the path, the direction or the shape of the path is rectilinear or in the straight line. Now, along with the DC electric field, if a small magnetic field is also applied now, you see that the path is now curved. Okay. Now, when there is a further increase in the magnetic field, the path of the electron you see has a sharper bend. So you can see here it is a sharper bend. So now, what is this governed by? So if there is a mathematical expression for that, and that is the magnetic force is equal to Q into V into P, where V is the velocity with which the electron is moving in the magnetic field and P is the strength of the magnetic field. As I told you, in a cross field tube, the magnetic field is responsible for the generation of oscillations, and it is dominant and it affects the electrons more when compared to that of the electric field. So what's happening here is the path is getting curved, means you can assume that if you look at this path, it is almost circular. So there is an equivalence between the curved path. So this curved path is because of a force, and that force is centripetal force. Now what is the one which is responsible for this curved path? That is the magnetic force, magnetic field, or the force because of the magnetic field. So here you can see an equation between the centripetal force and the magnetic force. So what I want you to understand here is the strength of the magnetic field and the radius of curvature are inversely proportional to each other. Please understand, when I say, when we see that, you saw, isn't it? When the magnetic field was 0, the path is straight. When the magnetic field was slightly increased, the path is also slightly curved. When further increased, the path is heavily curved. So that means the bend is more. So when magnetic field strength increases, the radius of curvature reduces, which means the bend increases, and vice versa. Okay. Now please watch, students, as the magnetic field is increasing, what's happening? The electrons are going towards the anode and returning back to the cathode. Now going back, when the magnetic field was 0, electrons were emitted by the cathode and they reached the anode. So because electrons reach the anode or the plate, anode and plate are equivalent to each other, because they are reaching the anode, there exists an anode current. See, even in this case, for a slight magnetic field, there is an anode current. But when you look at this red colored path, you see that electrons are emitted by the cathode. For that value of magnetic field, the electron just grazes the anode and comes back to the cathode. So they are not reaching the anode, or they are not reaching the plate, or they are not contributing to any current. So at this particular value of magnetic field, the current drops to 0. Okay. So this value of magnetic field at which the plate current or the anode current becomes 0 is called as the cutoff magnetic field. Okay. for normal operation, the magnetic field is always kept greater than the cutoff magnetic field. So if the value of magnetic field is greater than the cutoff magnetic field, you see this path, okay? The path is highly curved. The radius of curvature is extremely small. So the electrons are emitted by the cathode. They won't even reach the anode and they quickly come back to the cathode. Is that clear? Okay. Now, to give you a feel of it, see, the movement of electrons is in this direction, right? So, the velocity is in this direction and the magnetic field is in this direction. So, the angle between them is 90 degrees. I hope now you are convinced that this is a cross field tube and electric field is also along the velocity. So, that's why it is called as a cross field tube. So, electric field and the magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. So, why electric field? So, between the cathode and the anode, the DC power supply is connected like this and a permanent magnet is connected around the cylindrical magnetron like this. Okay. So, I hope you are understanding why this is called as a cross field tube. Now let us understand how all the three fields interact to produce sustained or strengthened oscillations. Now students, please look here. Now we know that we are talking about pi mode oscillations. So if this end is positive, okay, if this end is positive, this end is going to be negative for a particular instant of time. Now these two cavities are out of phase. So if this end is positive, this end should also be positive if they are in phase. Because there is pi mode oscillations, because there is a phase difference of 180 degrees, this is going to be negative. So definitely this is going to be positive. Are you understanding? Meaning to say this is negative, this is going to be positive, this is positive and negative. Now look out here, for that particular instant of time, because this is positive, so here again you will have positive, okay, with respect to this. Because this is negative, this will be positive, this will be negative. So what you see here is, you are having negative here, and here you are having positive and positive. That's why you see that you are having a positive here, there is going to be a negative potential or electric field here, there is a positive thing here, and there is going to be a negative potential here for a particular instant of time. Now why I am telling particular instant of time is because here whatever I am talking of about is the RF field which keeps changing with time. Okay students, now let us see how this works, how damped oscillations are converted into energized oscillations. Okay, so when the magnetron is turned on, what happens? The electrons are emanating from here. Now in the absence of RF field, the electrons would have taken this dotted path. So they would have come back to the cathode, okay, because I told you that the effect of magnetic field or the value of magnetic field is so set that it is greater than the Hall cutoff magnetic field. Because the magnetic field is so high, the radius of curvature is very small, so it will not even reach the anode and the radius is very small, so the electrons will come back. Now please note, see, you see this negative here, isn't it? So when the electron comes to this position, what is it facing? It is facing a negative potential. So let me understand this again. So I am going to use this again over here, mv square by r. Okay. So what I want you to understand here is, when the electron which is moving with the particular velocity v will face a negative potential, what is it going to undergo? It is going to undergo a retardation. That means the velocity is going to reduce. When the velocity reduces, what happens to the radius of curvature? The radius of curvature increases. The radius of curvature increases means what? The bend decreases. That means instead of coming back to the cathode, the electron is now going to progress towards the anode. Okay, So meanwhile the velocity has reduced. If velocity has reduced, the kinetic energy is reduced. Because of law of conservation of energy, whatever kinetic energy is lost by the electron, that will be transferred to the damped oscillations which is existing in the resonant cavity. By the time the electron comes to this position 2, I am talking to you about the AC field which keeps alternating. Because it is alternating, the one which was negative for a short while of time ago, now this will become positive and this end will now become negative. When the electron comes to position 2, it is again facing a negative potential. So what happens? An electron is negatively charged, it is facing a negative potential, again the velocity is going to decrease. So when the velocity is going to decrease, the radius of curvature is going to increase. The bend is going to decrease. Means instead of coming back to the cathode, it is now going to advance towards the anode. Instead of coming back to the cathode, it is getting advanced towards the anode. Now, one more wonderful thing is, by the time the electron reaches to this position, which was positive earlier, will now become again negative. Okay, when this becomes negative, again the electrons are retarded, kinetic energy is reduced. So that lost kinetic energy of the electron is going to be delivered to the RF field. So students, what I want you to understand here is, if the RF field or the magnetic field was not present, the electrons would have directly gone to the anode without giving energy to without losing energy. Now because the magnetic field is present, because of that, now the damped oscillations are able to gain energy. I hope you understand. So it is, the purpose here is, the electron is made to stay in the interaction space for a longer time, so that it is retarded every time it is moving ahead, and energy is taken away by that, and the energy that is given to the electron is given by the electric field or the applied voltage. Now let us see. I hope you are understanding how the damped oscillations are converted into sustained oscillations by retarding the electron and reducing the kinetic energy, and then transferring that lost energy to the damped oscillations in the cavity. Now let us see what happens to this electron B here. Now in the electron B, what's happening here is, okay, so when this electron has left the cathode, okay, what is it facing? It is facing a positive potential, isn't it, students? So when an electron which is negatively charged faces a positive potential, what is going to happen? Its velocity is going to increase, which means the magnetic force is going to increase, which means the radius of curvature is going to decrease, which means the bend is going to increase. So what I want you to understand here is, had this RF field not been present, the electron which was released during this time of the RF field would have taken this dotted line path and come back to the cathode. But then what is it doing? Because of positive potential, because its velocity is increased, because the magnetic effect of magnetic force has increased, and the role of the magnetic force is to curve the path of the electron, the path is even more curved, the radius is even more reduced, and it quickly comes back without even traversing through the interaction space. So no retardation happens, no energy transfer happens, and these electrons which are leaving the cathode during the positive potential are non-working electrons. They are taking away energy from the field rather than giving. But those electrons which are leaving the cathode when the negative potential exists, they are the ones which are working, and they are the ones which are retarding and giving the energy to the field. So these electrons which are taking this path, so this electron 1, this path, so these electrons are working electrons, and they are contributing to the energy to the damped oscillations, while these are non-working electrons and they are not contributing to any energy. Okay, so you see that the electron which was released at this position reaches the anode after passing two resonant cavities. Okay, the one which was released here passes 2 resonant cavities and then reaches the anode. Okay, so because you are having 8 such things, this is happening simultaneously and you have 4 such paths happening at a go. Okay, so you have these spokes. Now you see these arrow marks. What are they indicating? I told you this is RF field. It keeps changing with time. So this spokes also. Spokes means this path also keeps rotating. The electron group also keeps rotating, and thereby they are going to